Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're all doing well today. Hope you're having a good day. So I'm here at my parents' house. I helped them out with some stuff and just relaxing here, visiting. By the way, I hate doing this, but like I got a massive pimple on the corner of my nose and it's like inflamed. So because I know someone's gonna point that out there and ask me what that is. So just saying. But anyway, look at my eyes. Look right here. So this video I'm about to share with you guys that I'm about to post is a video that I've had filmed already for like 2.5 months. I filmed this at the end of April, and I guess I backed out of posting it because I was gonna post it back then, and then I backed out and got a little nervous because it's something that I'm opening up about, as the title says, and it's just I got nervous honestly of being judged, um, and it's something I'm talking about. You'll see in the video, but I'm talking about an eating disorder that I kind of developed and just a tough time that I had, and yeah, I got nervous because I was gonna get judged, but like sadly, it's like 30% of males go through this and only 10% of them are treated. And this happens to kids as young as 8 years old. But I feel like society and we're conditioned to think as guys to like grow up to be tough and to not have emotional issues, or to not be emotional, or to not have struggles, and like men don't have eating disorders, men don't have insecurities. That's what we're taught to think, and that's not reality. That's not true. That's not what makes you a man, in my opinion. I feel like that's not real. So that is why I wanted to post that video, to help some of you guys out there, because I know my demographic is like from 18 years old to like 30, and I know especially there is a percentage that are younger than 18 that watch my videos. So I feel like this would be great to share, and it's something that like I said, I don't talk to anyone about. Only my brother knows this about me, so that's why I was nervous to post it. But I feel like if I didn't post this video, I would be contributing to that stigma of men not having issues like this. So yeah, I wanted to share this with you guys. So I mean, if you have something negative to say or want to judge me on this, kindly F off, pretty much. And I'll leave more info below in case you need help or you want to talk to someone. I'll link everything below or leave all the info down there. But like I said, this is me, something that I went through back in the day. So wanted to share with you guys and show a little part of me that I, like I said, don't have never ever talked about. So I'm gonna go. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well today. I hope you're having a really good day. Hope you're having an awesome end to your week. So in today's video, as you guys can already tell, of course, from the title, no need to do an introduction. You guys know what you're clicking on. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I never really talk about even in real life. Not that this is not real life, but offline. I think my brother is the only one that really knows this, or like how deep this was, and I'm talking about something that's kind of private, but of course you're probably thinking, why am I talking about this online or in public? Since I have a lot of you guys that watch me, I feel like things like this might help someone out there. My story might help you out. Anyone watching this, if you're going through this or you need some sort of like hope, or just you can relate to my story. And pretty much I'm talking about kind of an eating disorder that I had years back. And I just want to clarify that what I'm talking about in today's video was me 10 years ago, so a decade ago. I'm 27 years old at the moment. I know I look young. I know I get a lot of people thinking I'm like 21. I mean, 27 is young, but I'm 27, so this is not who I am today. This is me back in the day, and I just feel like I should talk about it because, like I said, it can help you out. So let me just rewind back. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I went through a weight loss journey when I was 8th grade going into high school. I started losing a bunch of weight, and pretty much, let me just rewind back again. So I'm naturally a lean guy. Like, my dad is lean, my mom is really athletic. Both of them were athletes actually growing up. 5th grade, I started gaining a bunch of weight, and it's normal, with like young kids, it's pretty normal, I guess, to gain weight, you know what I mean? But for me, I remember vividly when I started just like eating more food and just kind of binging, and I know now, I know that I was filling a void when I was at that age. And let me just tell you, that age alone is pretty tough when you're in middle school. It's you're going through puberty. It's like the hormones, and it's just, you're kind of trying to find your place in life. You don't really know who you are truly. And for me, I had no idea who I was. I was really confused. You guys know that I've talked about this many times, that I was really confused with myself, with my sexuality, with like my future. You know, back then, this was like, what, a little over 10 years ago. So it wasn't as open as it is now. It's not as acceptable. I'm grateful how far we've come. But back then, I mean, it was still not that accepted. I just felt lonely, to be honest. And during middle school, I had no friends. I had maybe like one friend. But high school is when I started kind of coming into my own, and I started being more myself and finding, like I said, myself and gaining a lot of friends. But in middle school, I was very lonely. So I know that I started filling that void with food. I started finding food, you know, as comfort. I was feeling comforted and happy, I guess, by food, because it's the only thing that I was able to control at the time. Now looking back, I know that like my younger self was just trying to find control, whether it be my emotions. So I would control like food, and I would just like overeat, you know. And it's normal to have like, you know, kids nowadays like eat and stuff like that, and you eat junk, but I ate like really a lot. I remember I would just binge at night. I would just sit there and eat, and I was eating because I was sad, you know what I mean? So that led me to put on a bunch of weight, especially for my age at the time, for my height at the time. I was not active whatsoever, and I would get picked on at school, in middle school. Not to the point where I would call it bullying. I wasn't like beat up, or I wasn't, you know, I feel horrible for kids that have to go through that. You know, I just got picked on with like name calling. I got called, you know, fat ass, fag, like all those words you can think of. Yeah, it was just not a good time in my life. I hated my middle school years. I would literally cry sometimes in the morning just because I didn't want to go to school. So naturally my confidence just plummeted, and it just kept dropping. I don't remember what specific moment or how it happened, but I realized, you know what, I don't want to live like this. Deep down inside, I want to be that person that is athletic, that's feeling confident, that is out there. You know, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to feel sorry for myself anymore. So I changed my life around, and I started just diving into diets, which I hate the word diets, and I don't recommend. I mean, unless, you know, there's like a specific diet, I guess, that you have to have if you, based on your doctor, I guess. But I decided that, like, you know what, I am going to do this for myself. I am going to make this happen, especially going into like high school. During the end of middle school, I was like, this is a chance to kind of start over. So I started researching, finding out ways to lose weight. I remember specifically doing the Atkins diet at first. That was my first attempt, which pretty much, and I don't recommend this to anyone, but the Atkins diet is pretty much where you cut out as much carbs as you can, and you pretty much intake a bunch of protein and fats, but mainly protein. And of course, I was young. I was like, what, 15? So I was kind of ignorant. I was uneducated with the diet and everything. So I just wanted a quick fix. I would like meal prep, but it was just like chicken, franks, I guess is the correct word, not weenies. I call it weenies, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And that's all I would have like throughout the day. I did that for about like a week. I remember at the end of that week, I was feeling horrible, because not only did I kind of do that cold turkey, but carbs aren't necessarily bad. Like carbs are energy. Food is energy, but we need carbs. Like carbs are meant to be eaten for a reason or consumed for a reason. I was just having no carbs, and my energy levels were just like so low. My mood was terrible. I was so irritable and so miserable during that week. I remember it vividly, like sitting in my brother's room on the floor, feeling like I was gonna pass out. And that's when I realized, okay, Atkins diet is not for me. So I started doing more research, and then I started getting really into the research I was doing. And that's when it kind of switched for me. I started learning about portion control. I actually gave up meat. I was a vegetarian for 4.5, almost 5 years. So that was cool. And that's when I started losing weight, when I started cutting out the red meat. I stopped drinking soda. I started to eat more veggies. I started drinking way more water. And I started like slowly and healthily, is that a word? I started healthily losing weight. It took me about like 1.5 years to lose weight. And I also started running at the same time, which is really good. I started, you know, running the mile. I started going to the track like at night on a school night and just run. And I started just getting very into it, and I started seeing results. And if you see results, you know this, especially like, or even if you're like going to the gym and trying to build muscle, when you see results, you get even more motivated to do it, and you keep going and going. And that's what I started doing. And I started, like I said, dropping the pounds, and I started feeling really good about myself, feeling really confident. And I feel like that confidence showed just because I feel like I was more proud of myself that I was doing this, and everyone started noticing, everyone around me, like at school. I started being more myself, more confident. And I'm not saying that if you're overweight, you can't be confident or it's not good. I'm just saying that for me personally at the time, this is just my story, I started feeling more confident when I started losing the weight. You know what I mean? And now let's fast forward to like beginning of high school. I had lost pretty much like all of the weight, and I started becoming obsessed with like health and just running, and I started becoming overly obsessed with calories and started counting the calories. And that for me, and let me just tell you guys that I feel like looking back now, you know, people were noticing me more. I started making more friends. And I don't know if like in my mind that played a little role, that I felt like, I hope I make sense with this, but I feel like in a psychological standpoint, like looking back now, I don't know if like in my mind it kind of played a little trick in my head where I started thinking, since I started becoming more comfortable, more confident, and I started gaining more friends and like people were talking to me more and stuff like that, I feel like that almost made me believe that the more weight I lost, the more friends I'd make, the more people would like me, the more better I'd feel about myself, the more my troubles would go away. Somehow, like I feel like that's what I started thinking, and that's pretty much when it led to me becoming obsessive about calories and what I ate, and I started becoming obsessed with food and everything that I was consuming and everything that I couldn't consume. Like my brother can attest to this. He was really like fed up with me because I started like telling him what to eat or what not to eat, and you know, I couldn't even have like a bite of pizza. My brother looks at me now and he's like, dude, I can't believe like how far you've come, because he lived with me and we're really close, so he knew like everything. I remember recently he told me like, dude, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe how you used to be with food. It's crazy now you can eat like several pizza slices and you're fine and like you enjoy it. I would have never thought that you would be like this, because I was that guy that would not even have a slice of pizza because I felt like I was gonna gain weight. Yeah, this is when it started kind of going a little bit south for me. I started just getting very obsessed with it. That's all I thought about. Woke up, thought about food. I mean, I still think about food, but it's more of like a normal like health. Like I love food. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not obsessed with how many calories I'm eating, how many I'm not eating, like what I'm eating. Like it's all about balance. I have learned now in life, but 10 years ago, back then, I was just obsessed. That's all I thought about, and I would like measure like the food, and I couldn't even like, I was just not enjoying life. I don't know. In my head, I was going to an extreme. Like if I had a piece of cake, I had to go like work it off, or I would, this is crazy that I'm telling you guys, but about 3 times in my life, I tried to make myself throw up the food that I would have. I remember stopping myself those 3 times, looking at myself in the mirror, pretty much kind of like telling myself, what are you doing? Like what have you gotten into? Like, this is not normal. I remember being at my aunt's house and it was some sort of party. That's when everyone started kind of telling me like, whoa, you know, you're looking super thin. And I remember going into her restroom and she had a scale. And I remember stepping on the scale and I had weighed 124 pounds. That is extremely low. And granted, I had no muscle mass, no anything. I'll even show you guys pictures. Like I reached a point where I was like super skinny, and that was around summertime when I would go to Mexico every single summer. So family from Mexico hadn't seen me in like over a year. So I remember getting to Mexico and my cousin's wife, the first thing she tells me when I'm in the airport, she's like, oh my God, you look so weird. 80% of my family from Mexico was like a little concerned, like, oh my God, you're looking really skinny, what are you doing? It's crazy how the mind plays tricks, because at the time, I didn't realize how thin I was until now that I look at pictures, I'm like, whoa. So on top of everyone's reactions and comments, I had realized that I had reached a point where it was becoming a little too much. Extreme dieting, binging, and just like body dysmorphia at the time. I knew that I had some sort of like, I don't want to say that I had anorexia or bulimia, or I even feel uncomfortable saying the word eating disorder because I wasn't diagnosed with an eating disorder, but knowing myself, it was not normal what I was going through. And I know that if I had kept going, it might have gotten really bad. So yeah, I feel uncomfortable saying eating disorder because there are some people that do have like really bad eating disorders, but I just went to the extreme. And this is really personal that I'm sharing this. So I hope there's no judgment. This is just my real story. This is what I went through. And I guess if you're wondering like how I controlled that, how I got back to a healthy place, it didn't happen overnight. It all just kind of gradually went back to a better and healthier place. I started, I just gave myself a little more room to breathe, a little more room for balance. And I just slowly started to focus on other things. I started focusing more on other hobbies, photography, my friends. I met my best friends in high school. I was in a relationship. So I kind of started occupying my mind with other things. Obviously, I was still really like pro health and really about like exercise, and I still am to this day, you know what I mean? But I definitely learned to control it, and I also kind of self-helped myself, if that makes sense. Like I worked on myself. I realized that when I started accepting myself and being happy and content with who I was, and knowing that this is me, that's when I started to really heal, not only internally, emotionally, and mentally, but in terms of like that dark place I was getting at with like the obsessive dieting and just all of that started kind of fading away because I started healing within myself, you know what I mean? Just learning more about myself, and I started going to the gym, I started lifting weights, I started getting slowly into I started getting into positivity and like more self-help podcasts and books, and you know, that's when I started changing, because you can't really change something about yourself or about your life until you acknowledge it first, you know what I mean? Because my brother was brutally honest with me. He would tell me, even my family, my mom and dad would be like, this is too much, like you need to chill out, you're getting too like obsessed with all this, it's too much. I would just roll my eyes, I would resent them, be like, you don't know what you're talking about, like leave me alone. So it wasn't until I recognized what I was doing was when I was able to change it. I'm grateful for the lesson, I guess, because you know, through that I found the love for health, fitness. I became a yoga instructor. I have my yoga certification license. Right now I'm really, really into lifting. It's like my happy place, you know what I mean? I eat healthy as much as I can, at least. I go to the gym, I stay active because I want a better quality of life for me when I'm older, you know what I mean? It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good as well, which is something I talk about a lot on my channel. It's not about fashion and style and looking good on the outside. It's all about what's truly like in here. And if you feel good on the inside, you start looking good on the outside. And so that's why I thought it'd be a cool video to do, just to share a little bit about my story. And if you're going through something like this, you know, just know that I know it's hard, but maybe talk to someone and voice what you're going through, because other forms of eating disorders are hard to overcome and hard to you know, to go through. So know that you're not alone, and I'll leave links below in the info box in case you want to talk to someone, or you know, just anything like that. Or you can leave comments below in the info box. Maybe you guys can discuss this in the comments if you know if you can relate some way. And also, it's kind of like a taboo topic, especially for guys, and it sucks that like it's more looked down upon, I guess, for men, or like, I guess not looked down upon, but guys don't feel they can talk about something like this. So yeah, if I can just help one person out there, or just you can relate, that's, you know, I've done my job. So that is pretty much it. I am just happy that I was able to get off of that path, and I'm glad that I'm healthy, happy. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's kind of a long one, but I just had a lot to say. And if you guys watched the whole entire video, then that is pretty impressive. And yeah, with that being said, I'll catch you guys later. I have to go. I'm gonna log off here. Take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Adios.